Hello everyone and welcome back to MomWise. My name is Gabrielle and today I am going to show you how I made my cauliflower vegan tacos. The first thing you're going to want to do is rinse off your cauliflower, and then once you do that, you're going to want to shake it off pretty good to make sure that you have all the excess water off of the cauliflower. Now that we've done that, you can take the cauliflower and start prepping it. You're going to cut off the stalks, and then once you do that, you can cut the cauliflower into some small bite-sized pieces. In total, you're going to want around 3 to 4 cups of cauliflower, depending on how many people you're feeding. I would say this dish as a whole makes around 10 street tacos. I'm just gonna speed this up a little bit as I'm cutting the cauliflower up. Okay, so we're gonna set some aside in a bowl that we're gonna let mix some other ingredients in here shortly. I was actually surprised. This is the first time I made this dish and it turned out amazing. The flavor is really good and it is really filling. I was not expecting it to be so filling, but it truly was. It was satisfying and it tasted good. So pretty happy with this dish, and I definitely am gonna make it again. Now that we have all of our cauliflower, I'm just gonna set the extra cauliflower aside, and then I'm going to grab some green onion that we're gonna add to the bowl. And you're gonna wanna have around 3 or 4 stalks of green onion to add to this dish. And I like to set the bag aside so that way I can put all my scrap pieces on, so then it's easier to throw away later. You're gonna wanna rinse your green onion thoroughly and then cut off the tops, and then you can start dicing this. And you also want this to be finely diced. I typically like to go pretty far down to the stalk. That way there's more flavor at the base of the stalk. Then you're gonna add the green onion into the cauliflower and kind of just mix it all together. The next step, we have a orange pepper. Now you can use a yellow pepper or red pepper, really just whatever you prefer. I typically like orange peppers for this dish because they're a little more sweeter. I take out the core of the pepper and then I'm going to rinse them off. After I rinse them off, you can cut these long ways, and then I cut them into 3s. If you want longer pieces, that's totally up to you, but I find that with a street taco, it's better to have it cut up into smaller pieces. Now we're gonna add that to the bowl of mixed ingredients. And you're just gonna kind of toss it around a little bit. Okay, now we are going to add some olive oil. I just kind of drizzled it on top of the ingredients, but I would say it's around 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And then I add about a teaspoon of black pepper, and then some ground cumin. I probably added around 2 tablespoons of this. Now you're going to want to mix everything thoroughly. And this is like some taco mix that I got from Walmart. I added about half a package of that. It's McCormick Street Taco Mix Baja Fish. Now we're not using fish, but it's just like for flavor. Alright, now that we got that all mixed up, we're going to set this aside and kind of let it sit for a little bit while we cut up our other ingredients. The next thing I have is 2 limes. We're going to use that just to kind of like put on the tacos after they're cooked. And the way I cut these is I cut off the ends on the limes and then I cut them into 4s. The next ingredient we have an avocado, and I take like the little top butt end off and then I cut around the avocado and then kind of like pop it off. Now sometimes it's a little difficult to get off, but it's okay. And I just leave like the skin on this because I find that it's easier to take the avocado out after cutting it. And I only used 1 avocado for this dish, but if you have like more people that you're feeding, you can definitely use more than 1 avocado. Now sometimes like the seasonings are kind of difficult to get out, so you kind of like gotta pry them out of there. And I had to get a spoon because this one wasn't as ripe as I really wanted it to be, so it was a little bit more firm and I had to use like a spoon to kind of like core it out. I'm just gonna like cut it in long pieces so it's more edible and easy to put on the tacos. Alright, now we're gonna put everything that was in the mixed bowl onto a baking sheet, and while that's cooking, we're going to cook some of this on the stovetop. This is Smart Ground Lifelite, made by Lifelite, and it's just basically like soy ground up with some wheat and like spices, I guess you would say. And we're going to take this and put it in the oven. It's going to be preheated to 400 degrees. You're going to want to put that in the oven for around 20 to 30 minutes. Now if you like it like more, your cauliflower to be more soft on the inside and crispy on the outside, you're going to want to do it for like 30 minutes. And you're gonna put the stovetop, I would say if you got like a dial electric stove, you're gonna set this to 6 and then take the ground soy out and put that in the pan. And with the leftover packet of Baja taco seasoning, I'm going to put that over the ground soy. Just grab a spatula and you're going to want to mix this up with about, I would say, a 1/4 cup of water. I use bottled water, but you can use tap water if you want. And you're just going to want to like mix this up thoroughly, and then you're going to want to cook this for around like 15 to 20 minutes. As this is cooking, you're gonna wanna like casually, mix everything up and make sure like nothing sticks or like overcooks. Now, I personally, like when I ate this taco, I didn't really like care for the ground soy mixture that much. I mean, like the texture and everything was fine, but overall, like I think this taco would have been good with just the cauliflower mixture. Now you're gonna want to like take it out of the oven halfway through baking around like the 10-minute marker and just kind of like toss everything around on the baking sheet, and then you can put it back in the oven for the additional 10 to 20 minutes. Just gonna check on this, and it's pretty well cooked, so I'm going to turn off the heat on this and then just let it sit while I'm getting my corn tortillas ready. Just gonna get another pan, nonstick pan, and you're gonna take your corn tortillas, and these are gluten-free as well, so that's really good. You take them and you dip them thoroughly in some water, and then you put it on the pan, and you basically just want to cook it until like you see the water evaporate, and then you're going to want to flip it after you see that. And after it's been flipped a couple times, you can take that and set it aside. Really doesn't take much to cook these, but I find that using the water method, it definitely cooks these a lot better. So you just kind of like dip them and soak them, and then put it onto the nonstick pan and just cook it for about, I would say, 30 seconds on each side. Alright, after you have some of these cooked, you're just going to plate those and plate everything else, and then you can start building your tacos. Take some of the cauliflower mixture that we made, and then some of the ground soy, and then you're just going to want to put like a couple avocados on this, couple slices, and then a squeeze of lime, and that pretty much makes your street taco. Just going to plate a couple of these for you guys just so you can see like the overall presentation. But this dish was really simple to make, and the recipe was super easy. I kind of just like looked at a recipe and then did it on my own, like from scratch. So that is my Baja vegan tacos. I hope you guys enjoy this recipe, and I will see you next time.